Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Quad Boss Elite, and today we are once again going to be working on the Ford Freestyle today. We're going to piggyback off our last video with the auxiliary fuse box install. We're going to go ahead and rewire our subwoofers now that we got two. So we're going to go ahead wire both of those up today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so since I robbed the power for my subwoofer for the auxiliary fuse box, I had to go get some more wiring. There is a kit for subwoofer installs. I will leave the kit down in the description. It is 8-gauge power wire, 8-gauge negative wire. We have an RCA cable, some loom, some speaker wiring, and then your trigger wire. I mainly just needed the power wire, so we're going to go ahead and make our first connection in our fuse box for the main power supply for both subwoofers. I'm going to have one on the passenger side, one on the driver's side. So I'm going to go ahead and make our connections here at the fuse box first, and then I'll show you how we're going to route this to the seats. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go ahead and, like I said, we're going to tap into our fuse box that we just put in the last video. So we're going to have to take a few things off to run our wires. We're actually going to run our wires down here through the center console and then split them on both sides. So that means we're going to have to go ahead and take this radio back out again. So we're going to go ahead and pop this top up, gently just peel back, and it should give out. Work your way around. Try not to break your clips. Remember, there's this wire right behind here for the airbag. We're going to have to disconnect that first. Once we get that disconnected, we're going to go ahead and twist our bezel out of the way. Now if I turn my light on, you will see there is a bunch of wiring down here from the radio and all that stuff. But we're going to run our wires down here. You will see I've already had, for the previous subwoofer, the RCA cable running through there, as well as our trigger wire going down through here. So to take this little bezel out, you're going to use a flat-headed screwdriver, peel this trim up. Doesn't take much to get that off. Once you get that off, you can take that off. Then you're gonna go ahead and pop open your glove box. This is just held in by those clips, just like up on our radio bezel. So just gently pry this up. You will see that it'll start to wiggle a little bit and get it out. Once you pop it out, I will show you what we're looking at next. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we got the center console plastic piece out. You will see now that we have our wires down here. A little bit of a mess right now from the previous wiring, so I'll clean that up in this process. But as you can see, it runs from here, runs down, and then I got a bunch of the RCA cable bunched up down here. Last thing we're going to take out is our glove box. This radio does come with Apple CarPlay, so you see that I have my CarPlay wire going in through the glove box and out the other side, as well as our subwoofer control up here. We're going to have two of those now that we have two. In order to take this out, there is a star head here, a star head here, and I believe there might be some screws on the side here as well. One here, one there. Might be some underneath this padding. Yes, there is. So go ahead and take those four out, and then this glove box will come out. Alrighty, so we got our glove box out. Now we have free access to run our wiring. So our wiring is going to start from the glove box, wrap around down here, come down here, come through where the glove box is down below, and we're going to probably split them around, probably in the back here. We'll go one passenger, one driver side. Now that we got this cleared and ready for us to wire, we're going to go ahead and head up underneath the passenger side glove box and make our positive wire connection. Okay, so we are on the passenger side glove box compartment where we installed our auxiliary fuse box. We're going to go ahead and wire our first wire to this first terminal right here, which is going to be this positive terminal right up here. We're going to make our connection. Did the same thing. I labeled the positive wire so we know what is positive and what is negative. We're going to connect it up here. We're going to run it up, tie it into, probably going to tie it up to this loom up here, run it across here, run it back down. When we get to the other side of our radio bezel, we will see it pop out there. So we're gonna go ahead and connect that up, and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so I got the wire ran. I'm gonna show you how I did it. You might have to remove the stereo. I did, just so I get extra clearance back here, just so I'm able to see. But as you can see right here, that black wire runs back behind our vent going down, and it sneaks in right there, runs down along this air pipe all the way down here, and then I actually took a screw out here that screws this panel back in like this. But you see it runs down there, and then it runs back right over here, right behind the seat. So I ran it to where when the seat's back, you won't see it. So we got our power wire ran. We're gonna go ahead and make another one for the driver's side, and we'll run that in, and then we can start wiring up both of our subwoofers. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and run our driver's side power wire. And this power wire we're gonna go ahead and run on the bottom and run it over the bottom support brace and back into the radio bezel area. So let's go ahead and run that real quick, and we'll go ahead and head over to the radio bezel. Okay, so now that we ran our wire back from the fuse box, you will see the wire comes down here. I have it tucking behind underneath this AC vent, and you'll see, actually you don't see it because I did such a good job of putting it away, but it's actually underneath this vent. I just tucked it in here. As I get farther down here, you'll see that it's tucked in here, and then it'll pop out this back area and we'll wrap around back behind us. So all of our wiring for the positive side is done. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up this RCA cable, trigger wire, as well as our Apple CarPlay radio into one bundle so it looks nice and neat under here. And then we'll go ahead and head to the back to start wiring both subwoofers. Okay, so we are at the back seats of the car. We are ready to go ahead and start running all of our wiring. Our power wires, I have the passenger side coming right here, going underneath back here, running out. You can see our power wire right there. The driver's side is going to run underneath this black like support beam, and then it comes out behind the chair bar, goes underneath the seat. Our RCA cables, luckily the radio has two subwoofer outputs, so I have both RCA cables running in a wire loom down the main support coming out here, and you will obviously have an excess of RCA cabling, so zip tie both sets, which I will do the other one in a minute. Luckily there's a gap spacing under here. We can shove both of them back there so you won't see all the excess wiring. Then we're going to go ahead and run one RCA over here, one RCA over here. Our remote wire, I have one coming up from the radio that I originally did with just the one subwoofer, so I spliced it, and we have an end plug right here. We're going to put both of our trigger wires for the driver and the passenger seat in here. We'll run that back over here, tuck it back down here. We'll have one go to the passenger and one to the driver's side. Once we get that done, we'll go ahead and hook up our wires. Get all that done. I know I talked a lot about it, but I'm going to zip tie all that, tuck it away nice and neatly, and I'll show you what to do next. Alrighty guys, so we are able to go ahead and hook up these subwoofers permanently. We have power running on both sides. We have our RCA remote and subwoofer level remote wires wired into one loom for each side. So we got both sides, and then I wired up our remote wires as well. I got just enough to go into the glove box just like before, and I tucked the rest of it back in here. So all of our excess wire is shoved back in there. We are ready to go. Everything is good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back cover back on. Gonna go ahead and run our wires. Like I said, these main harnesses are gonna sneak up under here. If you take a 7mm nut, you can take that out, and then you can slide your wires up underneath here and then plug them into your subwoofers. For the subwoofers, I did the same thing what we did with the external fuse box. Is I ran a self-tapper to the ground cable, and I gave enough room to where these subwoofers can pull out, and you could change the settings and then shove them back in, and the wires kind of tuck back in. So I'm going to do the same to the passenger side. I'm going to run our wires up. We'll connect them all, and we'll go ahead and give it a test run. Okay, so we got our wire harness in. We got our remote wire, our two RCA imports, our trigger wire, and then our negative and our positive. The negative, like I said, is right there, and then the positive we ran from the fuse box. So this subwoofer is ready to go. And like I said, you just put this down and push that all the way up front, and then all your wiring goes with it and disappears. So we're going to do the same thing to the passenger side. I'm going to go ahead and get my negative, get my positive, got all my RCA, trigger, and remote wire plugged in, and then we're going to go ahead and see if they both turn on. Alrighty, so we got our subwoofers all wired up, tucked underneath the seats. Last thing we're going to do is put two 20 amp fuses in here, one for each subwoofer. That should supply the power to the subwoofers now, so let's go ahead and give it a shot. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so I got some non-copyright playing, and as you can see, the driver's side subwoofer is lit up. If we go to the passenger side, the other one should be lit up as well. So go under here, it sure is. So they are both currently working. All we have to do now is just install our remotes, which we're going to install the same exact way as this one. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other one. I'm not going to film that because it's just simple. Just put some screws in there, screw it up. Other than that, the subwoofer install is complete. Go ahead and put all your plastics back, bezel back, and this install is complete. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with this install. I put our cover back on, as you could tell. I put two labels on it. They both say stereo on it, just so that way I know which wires those are. And then of course the top one is for the passenger side, bottom is for the driver side subwoofer. Fuse box is complete. Our subwoofer install is complete, as well as I just finished packing up our remotes in there. They were all screwed in there nice and tight. First one is driver side, second one is passenger side. So other than that, you wouldn't even know we have subwoofers in the car because they were both underneath the seats. And then of course our fuse box is easily accessible in case we need to do anything with that. So that completes the subwoofer install. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video on the Ford Freestyle with the dual subwoofer install through our auxiliary fuse box. Everything runs flawlessly, everything is hidden, everything is not noticeable that we even have them in there. I'm happy with the install. It beats pretty well. I couldn't obviously play certain music because of copyright issues. Subwoofers are done. If you guys like this video, please give this video a like. If you have not already, subscribe to Quadbot Sleep for more content like this, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.